This is an overview of the HEROS collection boxes, which will show you what your boxes contain. This video also includes brief information about related documents and related surveys. Please be aware that you may have a special situation. If something in this video is different than what you discussed with your site, please follow your site's directions or reach out to your site for further guidance. If you have not yet received your collection boxes, please take a screenshot or write down your site's contact information so you can contact us if you have any trouble returning to your survey. We want you to complete this week's symptom survey and exposure questionnaire. When you get to the third page, the nose collection page, you, of course, cannot do the collections. We want you to scroll down to the bottom and click Save and Return Later. You will either bookmark the page or send yourself a new link. Your original link will not work. If you have trouble, contact your research site using the information you saved. Once you receive your collection box, you'll want to remove the bag containing the instructions. It may be at the bottom of the box. It lists everything in the boxes, including pictures explaining each, but this video may help too. This welcome sheet also shows the schedule of collections for the coming weeks. The other documents in your box include instructions and other helpful information about sample collection and supplies. The welcome email says you will get a text, email, or phone call, but you may have already received it. If you need to return to your survey and cannot do so, call your local site and reach out to someone who first contacted you about the study. The box contains supplies for the first few nose collections, stool or poop collections, and first blood samples. If the blood kits are not included, they will be shipped soon separately. The other box contains supplies in case someone in your home gets sick. Before explaining what is in the boxes, we want to mention some important points. Do not empty all of your boxes to conserve space. They are organized in a way that will help you use them. Later, you will receive more supplies for the rest of the 2-week sample collections. You should store your boxes in a safe place away from children and animals. You should have the items listed on your welcome sheet shown here. These items include a few larger boxes labeled Nose Sample Kit, a box labeled Stool Collection Kit, a box labeled Blood Collection Kit, a box labeled Unscheduled Unassigned, a box labeled Sick Stool Collection Kit, gloves, and a mask that was shown a moment ago. Do not throw away the mask. Another box contains several return shipping boxes and a bag with several swabs. These swabs are for nose samples if anyone gets sick. The next part of the video will explain key parts of the first boxes you will use. Before we explain, move the sick stool collection kit and the unscheduled unassigned nose sample to the sick supplies box. Set that box aside. You will not need anything in that box at all unless you have an illness or a special situation. In the box with your regularly scheduled collections, you should have a few nose sample kits. There is only one shown here for demonstration purposes. Inside the nose sample kit, you will find a return shipping box and a bag with alcohol pads, an absorbent paper, and enough swabs and tubes for each family member in the study. You'll use one of these when you get the kits. You may write scheduled or the week number on each of the boxes if you want to. In the stool collection kit, you will also find enough swabs and tubes for each family member in the study. The nose samples and stool samples are all sent back to the lab in the return shipping box from the nose sample kit. You should also have 1 or 2 blood collection kits. Each of these contains 1 or 2 smaller boxes. One of these boxes will have a return mailing label on it to hold all of the blood tubes from your collection. The kit also contains labels for each blood tube. You will need to stick these on the tube after the blood tube is capped. Do not lose those labels. During the blood collection, it is important to note that you should remain seated, and if you become dizzy, you should lie down. You may have already received the text or email asking you to take the survey. If you clicked Save and Return later, you should be able to get back into the survey using either the bookmark you set or the link resent to you, depending on what you chose. Sample collection is a very important part of the HEROS study. Since you are collecting at home, it is very important that we know which sample was taken from which person. The only way we will know this is if you match the sample number on the label with the right person in the HEROS study website. You might have noticed the color coding on the survey page. Color coding can help you tell which sample came from each family member. This chart helps you keep track of the color assignments. Consider placing this chart on your refrigerator to use as a reference. Once you collect your samples and secure the caps on the tubes, please lay them together on the counter with the specimen sample numbers visible and take a picture of them all together. For the first collection, you'll do nose, stool, and blood for each person, except those under 2. Blood would not be taken for them. These are entered in the HEROS study website after your survey is done. Every 2 weeks after that, each enrolled family member will do a nose sample after you complete the survey. Skipping to the bottom of this chart, you will do a health check on the weeks between the nose collections to see if anyone in your home has gotten sick. If so, some sick samples may be assigned. Back up to week 18, you will be asked to do the regular nose collection, but also do a blood collection for each enrolled family member after you complete the survey. Finally, in week 24, you'll do one last survey, nose collection, and blood collection. The next shipment you get will have more nose collection boxes and a blood collection box to get you through week 18. After that, the last shipment will have one nose collection box and a blood collection box for week 24. Don't throw away your mask after collections. You will reuse it for future collections. Store it in a bag or in the box away from children. You will be reminded each week at the end of your survey if you need to collect samples. Always take a picture of your samples and enter the sample numbers in the HEROS website before closing them in the mailing box. Be sure each person uses the same color for the whole study. Use the chart to help you keep on track. As mentioned earlier, you may have a special circumstance, and if so, contact your site. You only collect a stool swab once unless someone gets sick later. Mail the samples you collect the same day you collect them or the day after you collect them. The unassigned tube in the sick kit will only be used if a member of your household who is not enrolled in HEROS gets sick and agrees to do the nose collection. The unscheduled unassigned box has an extra swab and tube in case you lose one, break one, or touch one to something it should not touch. It can be used for nose or stool collection and is, of course, only for one use. You can write stool on it if you use it for that instead of nose collection. Thank you for being in the HEROS study.